to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is the case of the Idaho. This is all my thoughts, my speculations, and my opinions only. This is not the facts. I want to go back to the beginning of this case today because I believe the truth lies in the beginning. Daily Mail has been on this case since the beginning of this case. They haven't taken any credit, but they were running around as much as Brian Enton. So shout out to them for that. Especially this woman, this journalist, is really good at what she does. She's trying to find out the truth, asking all kind of questions, knocking on doors, and obviously it didn't help much. This is a secretive society that the college students have, especially the sororities and the Greek lifestyle. Sororities, fraternities. I've been researching so much on the fraternities and the sororities. They swear into pledges and oaths. They're not allowed to talk to anyone about what happens inside. So obviously that means they will even hide up a crime, in my opinion. When you zoom into it, this is how it looks. This is how the kitchen was supposed to have looked. The kitchen we saw was a bit messy, but it wasn't that messy. I personally believe that the fight started in the kitchen. Is that red liquid or not? It can't be oil or some red stains because they would have wiped it out. I've seen them keeping the house clean, and this is not something anyone would have lived in. This looks like red liquid to me. What do you think? Why does the crime scene look staged? Where were all the stuff on the table? We didn't see these stuff on the table. Today I wanted to show y'all who Ethan and Xana used to party with. This is just an example on TikTok. This was on Xana's TikTok, I believe. You can see Ethan here, although the picture is sideways. That's the only way I can do it. But you can see him with that yellow tiger. Apparently that tiger went with Xana, his family. It's on her grave. May she rest in peace. It's important for me to know not only the connections of all these people, who is connected in what frat, what sorority. That's what I've been studying for the last 2.5 years. It's important to know the crowd that they hang around with. What is interesting is in this video, it's a small clip, a TikTok, so bear with me, and you would see that Showalter parties with Ethan and Xana. He's in this party. So is Hunter Johnson. So is Emily. So is Bethany Funk. And so is Dylan. I always knew that this group was more like the junior group. Kaylee and Maddie were the senior group. So they were hanging around with people like Adam and Jack D. And the sororities and frats. The Davids would have belonged more to Maddie and Kaylee's group, although they were beefing somehow with Xana and Ethan. And let's not forget, Xana and Ethan are juniors and the Davids are seniors. So it's all about reputation, it's about the power, it's about clouds, whose name is bigger, who is more known, and that is where the Davids come in. So I believe Ethan was messing around with the wrong people to start with. May he rest in peace. You must have seen this picture before. of John Rogers Showalter that was taken in the same party he was partying with Xana, Ethan, Hunter Johnson, Bethany, DM, Pete Rock, and many of the Sigma Chi fraternity boys. What I'm trying to say by that is Showalter clearly knew Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. He's lying about it. Maybe he did not know Kaylee that well, but he knew her because he was busy saying that Kaylee had a stalker. How did he know that Kaylee had a stalker? The police were saying Kaylee didn't have a stalker. Her father was saying she didn't have a stalker. But today, the Congalvis came out in an interview and they said that Kaylee had a stalker. Now please tell me, besides all these lies, is there any truth? Any truth coming out of Idaho, Moscow is my question. Everyone seems to be taking a picture with this little tiger or whatever cozy bear it is. I personally think that Xana and Ethan were partying too much. And something kicked off, in my opinion. Isn't that Pete Rock? So the Sigma Chi fraternity boys used to party with Hunter, Emily, Xana, and Ethan. The more I research, the more I dig into things are finally coming out. Not only coming out, things are being exposed. Like the reports don't make any sense compared to what we heard. It definitely seems like there are more suspects involved. Always focus on the beginning. It was said that there were 3 unidentified male DNAs found inside and outside the house. If you include the knife sheet, it becomes 4. Then we heard Ann Taylor saying that there's 4 alternative suspects. We heard 3 mixed unidentified male DNAs were found under Maddie's nails. Why aren't they telling us the other DNAs that were found on Xana, Ethan, and Kaylee? I find that to be interesting. Was it only Maddie that got their DNAs under a fingernail? Was that number 9 who was giving her a pill in her mouth? Was his fingerprints one of them? I wonder, where are they partying? Could that be Sigma Chi fraternity? Because there are a lot of Sigma Chi boys here. I wonder where they all were when the unalivings happened. Were they just hearing it on Snapchat? Reading it on Instagram? Watching it? And there we have Hunter Johnson at the party with Ethan and Xana. We know that they're friends. We know that they chill. But I was wondering, how come Hunter Johnson and Emily are not talking about the party at the Sigma Chi fraternity boys? Nobody seems to be talking about the party. And that is important because that would have brought out exactly the timelines that Ethan and Xana were unalived. These people know about it. They're hiding it for whatever reason. And I don't think it's because big organizations are involved. It's because there are organizations themselves, the Greek life. They have their own rules, regulations. They swear them into things, and they stick like brothers through thick and thin. That means even through a crime, I would say, in my opinion. Hunter looked too worried. He had his hands on his neck and on his head, wrapped over his head. I understand he was in a state of shock, but I don't believe Hunter heard about it before the cops came. Hunter's knife wasn't even on the table until later. I showed you all that on a video. I believe Hunter knows more than he's saying. What happened there? He looked much better there, actually. He looked really healthy. I'm sure he's still healthy, but he's much thinner. What is happening to him? Is he going through something? I hope he looks after himself. That's all I can say. It's all the Sigma Chi fraternity boys, for the most. So they all shared this tiger. And let's not forget, it was the pandemic season. That was the time you're supposed to stay 6 meters away from each other. And they all are holding this cozy bear. It gets interesting. We have Hunter Chapin in the party. He did say, me and Ethan do everything together. We drive, we eat, we chill together. I believe Hunter Chapin was chilling with Ethan and Xana when something happened. He knew what happened, in my opinion. I don't think Maisie knew what happened. It was Xana who recorded it and put it on a TikTok. Ethan's the only one whose picture is sideways, but that's a nice picture of him. May he rest in peace. They all have some connection to this tiger. Whether they're drinking, whether they're lonely, whether they're happy. He looks so happy to see the tiger. It doesn't look like Jack Showalter smiles at all. He's just holding the tiger bear, whatever it's called. He's not even looking at it. This man's timeline and his story doesn't make sense. And now we have Dylan in the party. So when Dylan is saying that she did not see Xana, I believe she's lying. Because Xana and Dylan are almost the same age. They both are juniors and freshmen. They live on the same floor. They share the same toilet. How wouldn't she know when her roommate came home? But yet again she says she saw Xana